Hey there friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Lala is here with me today because we are going to talk about a book that is very, very special. And I just have to start out by saying this was not the video that I was originally planning today. Like, I'm very meticulous about these videos. I usually have them planned weeks in advance and I know what I'm going to talk about. But I had to throw that all to the wind because I just finished a book over the weekend that was so entertaining, wildly hilarious, and just downright absolutely one of my favorite books so far that I've read. I had to talk about it with you guys immediately and share it with you immediately because it's incredible. So the book that I am talking about is called Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. Dungeon Crawler Carl. So this book, I've actually had it for about I guess 6 or 7 months now, and I hadn't gotten to read it yet. So it actually originally came out a few years ago. I want to say maybe 2019 or 2020, and it was either self-published, indie published, something like that. And it just is being reissued now with these really fantastic eye-catching covers in hardcover. And I won't lie, that is what initially drew me to this. I love the color. I love the 90s vibes of the of the cover and the dust jacket. And so I picked the first one up, and I have been hearing that everybody that has read it so far that I've talked to absolutely sings its praises and loves it. So it's like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to see what it's all about. I read it this whole past weekend. I could not put it down. I already have the rest of the books in the series lined up and ready to go. And I am just so excited for this journey. And I had to share it with you. So what is this book about? What is going on? Why is it so entertaining? Why do I love it so much? Okay, so first of all, this is a sci-fi book. It's a dystopian book. And it's sort of a fantasy book all in one. It's also what's known as a lit RPG, which is a very niche subgenre of the speculative fiction, under the speculative fiction umbrella, which refers to books that are written that have elements of gaming to them, like RPG elements or something like that. Do you have to be a gamer to enjoy this book? Absolutely not. Do you have to know anything about video games or tabletop games or anything like that? No, definitely not. I think that the author, whatever he's trying to get across, he does in such a way that if you are not experienced with any of those things, you are still going to love it and enjoy it. If you are a gamer, are you going to enjoy it a little bit more? Probably, because there are a lot of really fun references and things like that I just think just give it an extra special little pop. So basically the story features Carl, right? He is a protagonist, and it's the end of the world, okay? He doesn't know it. He is having a really hard time in his life. He has broken up with his girlfriend, so he's got this ex-girlfriend he's trying to fight with her about this cat that she has, this prize-winning cat named Princess Donut. And basically she's gone and left him. He's kind of down in the dumps. He is out for he's out in the middle of the night because Princess Donut has gotten out. And luckily for him, because he's out of the building, he is outside when the apocalypse happens. And all the man-made structures, cars, buildings, homes, everything like that, basically is gone instantaneously. It's just all flattened and there's nothing left. The only people that have survived this apocalypse are the people that happen to be outside at the time. So because this happens, basically the apocalypse has gotten rid of all the man-made people, or all the man-made structures, all the people that were in those structures. If you're sleeping in your apartment, if you're at the gym or whatever, boom, you're dead. And all of that has been repurposed underground to create this sort of like fantasy dungeon that has all these different levels to it. And the people who have been left are given the option to try to fight to survive on the surface with basically no resources, or take your chance in the dungeon. You can go down in the dungeon and maybe you'll survive in there, and hey, that gives you a fighting chance, right? But the other thing is that this dungeon is televised. It is apparently the most watched show in all of the galaxies. And now Carl, because he's outside with Princess Donut, and he was out, by the way, with no shoes or anything, so he really doesn't have a choice. He has to go down into this dungeon with this cat, Princess Donut, to try to survive. It doesn't sound like the most hilarious setup, but when I tell you that this book made me laugh out loud so much to the point where I was almost crying, it was incredible. This book is so funny. Unintentionally and intentionally, it's just hilarious. So when they get down into the dungeon, you know, they get all these there's different weapons they can get, there's different potions, there's different boxes, like called loot boxes, that they get if they go through different activities, like if they beat a dungeon boss, or if they do different achievements, they'll get these prizes that will help them get through the dungeon. So like I said, it has a lot of elements of gaming to it. If you're familiar with gaming or if you played games before, you're going to recognize these elements. If you haven't, that's still fine, because it is explained in such an easy way in this book that you can have never picked up a video game before and you will understand what is going on. So I don't want you to think, well, I'm not really a gamer, I don't know if I'll like this. That is not, you don't have to worry about that at all. This whole story is based on Carl and his cat, Princess Donut, as they are trying to survive everything that is happening, which is including exploding goblins, drug dealing llamas. There's so many hilarious things that they come across. There's different safe houses throughout the first floor of the dungeon that they can go in and like get food and rest and clean up and things like that. And the relationship between Carl and Princess Donut is just absolutely hands down fantastic. I am, you know, a Princess Donut fan forever after this first book, and I just cannot wait to read more about them. So basically, there's all these different levels of the dungeon, and they have such a specific amount of time to get through it and get to the stairwell, which leads them down to the second level, and then the third and the fourth, whatever. So each level as they go down gets harder and harder, and the number of participants gets lower and lower because people are just dying left and right pretty much. So will Carl and Princess Donut make it to the second level? What else are they going to encounter? That's the stuff you're going to find out if you read this book. So as you can tell, it's like a very, very wide gamut of genres. It's dystopia, right? It's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's humor. It's absolutely hilarious and just so much fun. If you're looking for a book to just, you don't want to have to think a whole lot, you don't want to be sad or upset, you just want to laugh and have a fun time, pick this book up because it's absolutely wonderful. I am already ready for the second book in the series, Carl's Doomsday Scenario, another one with really fantastic lettering and colors, right? You can see Carl on there running with Princess Donut. So far, the first, I want to say 6 books are out in the series. I think there's only 2 more that are coming. Like I said, the series was already published and now it's just coming out in different formats. So I want to say the next book might even be out in the next few months, probably in the fall. But they also get like thicker and thicker as they progress. Like I just got book 6 and it's like 700 pages. So you're going to be reading for quite a while, and it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait to continue on this journey with Carl and Princess Donut. And I think you will love it as well. The only thing I will say, I know it's not going to be for everyone. The gaming aspect of it, like I said, is not a hurdle at all, I don't believe. The only thing I will say is that there is definitely a lot of swearing in this book. Particularly Carl swears a lot at Princess Donut, which is understandable once you see how they're interacting with each other. So there is a lot of swearing. So if you're the kind of person that like really doesn't like to come across that when you're reading, you might not appreciate it, but it is done in a really humorous and fun way. So there is that. So give this one a shot. I think that it is definitely all hyped up for a reason. It's just a wonderful, wonderful book. Hilarious, great characters, a lot of action, a lot of adventure, obviously, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really awesome and that you're excited to start the series out. If so, we do have it available at Farmington Community Library, so feel free to come and get it from there. And also, thank you so very much for watching, friends, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.